Good morning. This is Shay with Shay Art Media, Shay Images. I'm a photographer, and this is San Diego, California skyline taken from Point Loma. And if you're a fan of San Diego, you'll probably enjoy looking at this up close, which is what we're going to do here in just a second. This was taken on December 19th of 2016 from up kind of the top of Point Loma. And we are looking at this bottom area here is Shelter Island, and then of course the San Diego skyline. The edge of the water is 2.78 miles away, and all these buildings are roughly 3 miles away. So this is a very long distance, high resolution photograph. And you'll notice it's very colorful. I didn't add any colors to it. I've actually taken away a lot of color from it. For a variety of reasons, but it's Christmas time here in this picture. So let me just zoom in here, and you'll see like this is the San Diego County Administration Building, and you can see all the red and green lights. So there's extra color in this image that wouldn't normally be there the rest of the year. A lot of people think it's fake. There's absolutely nothing faked or added or even enhanced. This is pretty much just the way it came out of the camera. Like I said, I had to do some color correction to reduce a lot of unusual color casts. It was a Santa Ana day, which if you're from San Diego, you understand that can be easterly winds, but it also means that when the wind calms down, it is much, much calmer and flatter and glassy than it normally is. So you can see the bay here has very little chop on the bay, which creates a mirror-like reflection. In addition to the fact it's very cold, and it's just a few days before Christmas, so people are not in their boats and their bikinis and shorts out gallivanting around in their boats. It's very, very quiet on the bay, so you've got very little boat traffic. There are a couple of boats here, like there's one guy just kind of floating right there, and there's a boat just leaving the scene, but apart from that, there's very little traffic. Looking again at the water, you can see this little dark ridge. That's just kind of leftover trail from this boat, which has recently traveled. This was taken with a 400 millimeter lens, although I don't remember how zoomed in I was. It is a 30-second exposure at f13 because I wanted everything to be as in focus as possible. And the air relatively clear and clean during a Santa Ana condition, so pretty good conditions, especially when you start taking pictures of something that's 4 miles away. So let me just zoom in and we'll talk. So this is the whole Shelter Island area, and this is Shelter Island Drive right here, and of course we've got some marina stuff there. The San Diego Marlin Club, I think, is right here. Looking in, there's some little hooks and things hanging from this bar here. That's where they bring the big marlin in there. You can see the bottom here of a U.S. Navy boat. So there's a little naval repair shipyard there. This is Pearson Marine, this area in here. That little sign there says Fuel Dock. This says Ron Pearson. I know they've got a deli in there. And this whole dock down here where this large boat is, this is a fuel dock, so you can get gas there. There's also a boat here that says Vessel Assist. That's basically like a towboat that if you break down, they'll come get you. Continuing on, let me zoom out again so you get the big picture. This whole right area here is the edge of Humphreys Resort. So these are all hotel rooms, and of course boats at the marina. You're not going to see any people in this picture for a couple of reasons. There's not much going on outside at this time of year. It's cold, and being a 30-second exposure, anybody who was in the photo would get basically blurred out if they were moving at all. There is a person or two, I believe there's a, yeah, here we go. Way off in the distance there is what I think is a female, probably having a cigarette or something, and she's just outside of the Bali High restaurant, and you can see the little sign right there. That's the Bali High sign. But she must have been standing basically still for about 30 seconds to show up in the picture. And she's probably only a mile away from me. What else do we see here? So we got Shelter Island Drive. We've got the Shelter Island Boatyard, and that's pretty clear and visible here. Obviously, they're doing all types of painting and boat repair along there. This says yacht sales and maintenance on that sign. A very bright light in this boatyard. Once again, we talked about Humphreys. If you ever went to the concerts, they're just out of the picture. Here is the concert area. And then just behind here is the parking lot for the boat ramp. If you have your own boat and you have a trailer and you want to launch your boat, that's the Shelter Island boat ramp right in there. Again, we already talked about this. There's a boat just floating out there. Let's go across the bay, about 4 miles away. Here's the USS Midway. Here's the front right part of the boat, and of course their lights and such. This is I think the Broadway Street Pier and the main San Diego piers there. This building here has the UCAE San Diego Medical Building in there. This is actually a federal prison called the Metropolitan Correctional Center. We've got One American Plaza, I think it's called, NBC, Chase. We've got the Emerald, formerly the Emerald Shapery Center. I think it's called Emerald Plaza now. Let me just zoom in a little bit. Remember Horton Plaza, which has now kind of been redeveloped, but there's a couple of palm trees here in the middle of that circle. Though that's Horton Plaza, and that's Broadway right there. Once again, you got the county. Actually, we'll look over here. It says Port of San Diego, although it's hard to read there. And of course, we've got the Santa Fe Depot and the old little entrance to that, and the train station right there. Again, red and green lights pretty much everywhere for Christmas. These, I think, are like apartment buildings and such. We got the Manchester Financial Building, the famous old El Cortez Hotel along there. This is what is it? Harbor. It was Anthony's. I don't know what it's called now. We've got the Star of India right there. You can see the sails, and then there's the bow of the boat right there. By the way, let's see. This is, I think, B Street here. This is A Street here. And, excuse me, I take that back. I think this is A Street. This is Ash. And this is Beach. And then we saw Broadway up in there. I think this is B Street right in here, although you can't really see it. And that building right there is the Lockup Detention Center, San Diego County. I think it's a local jail, basically. I'm probably wrong with half of this stuff. Back behind Manchester, there's a couple of towers here with red lights. Those are the KSON radio towers that are along the 94. And you can see those, I think, from the 805 or the 5 going south. And hard to probably see on the internet, but these are hills. There's actually, you probably can barely see it, but like there's like a mountain peak right there, which I think is Lions Peak. Let me just hold still for a second so you can look a little more. Getting over towards the edge of the frame here now, we're looking at the San Diego County Administration Building, and there's this big, huge park that goes all around it, which you can't really see from this angle. And then we're pretty much at the end of the scene here. Some of the, I think the tuna boats and such are somewhere around in here. Zooming back out, what am I missing? Anything? Anyhow, it's a pretty cool photo. And I'm just rambling on here. I thought you might enjoy it. And like I said, there's only the one person, I think, in this whole picture, which is little Miss Girl here. And there's another person that I found, at least what I think is a person. Let's go. Oh, you can see all the lights on the edge of the Star of India. That's pretty cool. Maybe December 19th, you were at a Christmas party eating dinner in Anthony's Fish Grotto. Right there. That right there, I think, is a person. But apart from that, can't really see it. But pretty amazing technology. I know it's not as crystal clear as it could be, but remembering that this is 4 miles away. I'm using a $2,500 lens and a $4,000 camera. It was on a tripod, and once again, this is a completely real photo. It's not fake. There's no color added. I've worked hard to get it to try and look as realistic as possible. Of course, if you're standing on the hill with your naked eye, it's not going to look as good as this, because this is essentially looking through binoculars. So everything cool has been, made bigger through the telephoto lens, so you're seeing the very best parts of the scene. And I have printed this up to like 72 inches wide. Looks amazing to about 36 inches. And of course, as you blow it up bigger, it's not quite as clear. This would be what it would look like at about 72 inches, but you can still see everything pretty cool. So I hope you've enjoyed my little tour today. You can see more of my work. I'm in the process of redoing my website, so it looks bad right now, but it's www.Shay Images, that's SHAY Images, or Shay Art, or Shay Art Media. They will all get you to the same place. And you can contact me there if for some reason you want to buy one of these. Hope you've enjoyed the little tour of San Diego. This is Shay, out for now. Be safe, be healthy.